Good morning, everyone. I know we already took this lesson, but today we're just going to review everything in 5 minutes before you start doing the lesson worksheet, okay? So first of all, the solar system has been formed around 4.5 million years ago. I'm going to go through this fast because I know you already went through all the videos of the explanation, so this is just a revision. I'm going to go through it fast, okay? So our solar system has been formed around 4.5 billion years ago, and it's made of the sun, which is the center of our solar system, and it's the biggest celestial body in our solar system, and all the other objects in the solar system revolve around the sun. Okay, everything else revolves around the sun. Okay, that's because the sun it's the biggest, and it has the biggest gravitational force. Also, our solar system is made of the sun, our earth, different planets. We have moons, okay, we have dwarf planets, comets, other objects, asteroids, and we're going to go through them later. So the sun is not the only star. There are many stars, okay, and the star system is like a star, okay, with a group of planets that orbit around this star. Okay, this is called a star system. It's a star and a group of celestial bodies that orbit around it. Okay, our star is called the sun. The sun is the largest single body, and it's made of hydrogen, helium, oxygen, carbon, iron, and it can fit 1.3 million Earth-sized planets. So it's pretty big. And an object's mass is what determines the gravitational field, and that's why, because this has the most mass, the sun, its gravitational field is very high, and that's why everything else revolves around it. It influences the motion of everything else in our solar system. Okay. So the structure of our solar system: the planets and other objects in the solar system are held in orbit by mutual gravitational pull between themselves and the sun. Okay, so this is our solar system. These exist at various distances, okay, from each other. The planets are the next largest category of objects in the solar system. Planets orbit the sun in the same direction. They all orbit the sun like this. Okay, so these are all the planets. In addition to revolving around the sun, each planet rotates around itself. Okay, as we learned before about the Earth, it rotates around its axis and then revolves around the sun. Okay, and they move at different distances and different speeds. Okay, I'm sorry I'm going through this fast, but you already know all of this. It's just a revision. Okay, so we have two kinds of planets. We have the inner planets, which are called the terrestrial. We have the outer planets, which we call the Jovian. The inner planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The outer planets, we have two kinds, the Jovian ones. We have gas giants and ice giants. Gas giants are Jupiter and Saturn, and ice giants are Uranus and Neptune. So the terrestrial planets are mainly rocky. They have rocky surfaces, and they're kind of inside, like they're the ones that are closer to the sun, and the Jovian ones are the ones that are further away. Okay, the Jovian planets, these planets here, the terrestrial ones, have fewer moons. The Jovian planets have more moons because they're bigger. They have more mass. And that therefore they have more moons because they're able to affect. Their gravitational force is able to hold more moons. Okay, they're mainly made of hydrogen and helium. Sorry. Only the center is made of ice. Only the center layers of these gas giants and ice giants are solid. Only their center is solid. Their large masses provide enough gravity to hold more moons than the terrestrial ones. Okay. So these are the order of the planets. Have you noticed? These are the terrestrial, and these are the Jovian. Okay, see, these are bigger. So their mass is able to hold more moons. Okay, these are smaller. And these are closer to the sun. These are further away from the sun. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the other celestial bodies that we can see in our solar system. So we have meteoroids, asteroids, comets, dwarf planets, and moons. Okay. Now what you need to know here, okay, difference between a moon and a dwarf planet, this is very important, is that the moon, they rotate around planets, okay? But dwarf planets, they actually don't rotate around, they rotate around the sun. Or we can say revolve instead of rotate, okay? So moons, they revolve around planets. Dwarf planets, they revolve around the sun. Okay, see, that's the difference between both. That's very important. Okay, so moons are rocky bodies. They orbit larger bodies such as planets, dwarf planets, but they do not orbit the sun. This is very important. They don't orbit the sun. That's why they're moons. They're not dwarf planets. Some moons are round, such as the Earth's moon, but many are not round. You can see that. Some moons are not round. They're not spherical. Okay? Now, dwarf planets, they're similar to planets, but they lack a certain criteria, okay, that is required for them to be classified or classed as a planet. Okay, they're surrounded by many small objects. Okay, they orbit the sun. It's also important, they orbit the sun. Remember that. They orbit the sun. Moons, they orbit planets. They don't orbit the sun. Comets are small bodies of ice, rock, and dust. Okay, they follow highly elliptical course. As comet passes close to the sun, sometimes it comes close to the sun, and gas and dust break off the comet. It would have a tail. Okay, if it comes close to the sun, it will start having a tail. It's mainly the gas, the ice becoming, going through sublimation, becoming gas really fast. Sometimes they get engulfed by the sun, okay, and sometimes they just pass around it. So these are comets. Asteroids are small, irregular shaped, rocky, metallic bodies. So the difference between asteroids and comets is comets are made of ice, but ice and rock and dust, but there's ice mainly. Asteroids are small, irregularly shaped, rocky, metallic bodies. Okay, they don't have a regular shape. They're rocky, metallic bodies. They range in size. Okay, they can be small, they can be big, and they move in an orbit around the sun, between Jupiter and Mars. If you notice, this is Jupiter, this is Mars. Between the Jupiter and Mars, there's something called the asteroid belt. Okay. All right. Sometimes, okay, from these asteroids, a small piece breaks off and moves, okay, from the path of the asteroid belt. And these small pieces are called meteorites. They're small, rocky, metallic bodies. Okay, they may be debris left over when the solar system was born. They may also break off of comets and asteroids. They may break off and be like these small pieces. Now, when these meteorites are moving close to Earth, when they enter Earth's atmosphere, they're called a meteor. Okay, in space, they're a meteorite. They enter the Earth's atmosphere, they're called meteor. Whatever is left, okay, the portion that survives is called a meteorite. When they enter the Earth's atmosphere, okay, they create a blazing path in the sky known as a falling star. So that's the difference between the three. It's basically location. Okay, a meteorite is in space. This is entering the Earth's atmosphere. This is what's left after it enters the Earth, and whatever survives. The piece that survives is called a meteorite. So you got to know the difference between these three. Okay. We already talked about the difference between comets, asteroids, and meteorite, but if you'd like, you can look at it in the slide. Remember Galileo, in 1609, he combined two magnifying lenses and made a telescope and was able to discover a lot of things about our space. And also you got to remember that how humans now discover space is basically through the South African Large Telescope, which is this, and the Hubble Space Telescope, which is that. This is just the two information you have to know. So that's basically just a revision of the lesson in general. Okay, you already know all of this. We went over all the slides in detail, but I just wanted to review it for you. Now you can do the worksheet. Good luck. If you have any questions, please ask me. Thank you.